While others are still struggling to survive, these two brothers decided to play hide-and-seek underground. Armed with god-tier shoveling skills, they dug out hundreds of ridiculously fun underground palaces.
Life has no reverse gear, but hey, it's full of turns.
Brothers Kurila and Rakuli gave up their big city dreams and moved to a place where even birds don't poop. They believed life could only get better from there. In the blink of an eye, they dug a giant pit. All the extra dirt expertly flung into the air. Since this was to be their new home, it had to look like one too. The brothers worked side by side, toiling for 6 days and 6 nights, digging out a 6-square-meter secret chamber. They even sculpted a double bed out of dirt. Not a single grain of soil went to waste. As men of depth, literally, they held a quick brainstorming session and scribbled out a rough floor plan. Then they dove right back underground with the never stop till we hit rock spirit and dug another 1.01 meters deep. Soon, a perfectly square pool took shape. The younger brother popped up to the surface, his sharp eyes scanning the ground. He instantly pinpointed the breakthrough spot. The brothers split up like a battle squad. Kurila dug upward from below, while Rakuli dug downward from above. Great minds think alike, even underground. Soon, they connected it with a spiral staircase, which also became the front door to their mansion. As top-tier wilderness architects, they couldn't stand plain, boring walls. Kurila, the elder, flexed his talent, sculpting the wall like a possessed artist.
And voila, out popped a giant gourd.
Nobody knew what medicine was inside that gourd. But Rakuli, not to be outdone, carved out a rugged mountain man. 2 abstract bamboo sculptures, artfully done. The younger brother then hiked over hills, carrying a chamber pot like it was treasure, to the legendary Flaming Mountain. There, he invited the veteran red clay master, and fetched holy water from a heavenly river. When the 2 sacred ingredients met, ta-da, they created the trendiest caramel-colored paint. In the middle of their outdoor hall, the brothers drew a perfect circle, freehand, and started digging straight down.
One dug, one smoothed, like a well-oiled and muddy machine.
With relentless determination, they carved a 2-meter-deep round pit until muddy, yellow river water oozed out. Turns out they had just built a working well. To avoid a tofu-quality collapse, they mixed in wood ash for strength, making their homemade cement extra tough. The entire pool was polished smooth as silk. If I had their construction skills, I'd already have a fancy job by now. Need a job fast? Looking to rent, sell, or hire services? Just call 58.com, problem solved. Their arched doorway was a pride project, fully wrapped in bamboo strips. The gaps let sunlight in, so they could literally live with sunshine. With sunshine in your heart, life's always full of hope. But that secret door couldn't stay open. What if a bear stumbled in at night?
That'd be unbearable.
So they crafted a round bamboo door, smoothed and polished it, making it elegant, classy, and safe.
'Cause style means nothing without safety.
After 7 days and nights of waiting, the well water turned crystal clear, clear enough to see their goofy faces.
No more long treks for water. Now they had it on tap, literally.
They carried buckets from the living room to the bedroom, 250 trips each. Finally, the pool was full. After 6 months without a bath, the brothers couldn't wait to scrub away their sins. The clear water turned murky instantly. But hey, it's all their own dirt anyway. No shame, no problem. They dove headfirst into the pool, lit by romantic candlelight, turning it into a luxury underground spa. The brothers washed themselves spotless, pants and all. They took one last patrol around the cave entrance, making sure there were no bears in sight. Then they shut the tomb door, and also the bamboo gate to the yard. Finally, at peace, they began their underground slumber. But the underground life was too damp, so with their natural builder's instincts, the brothers decided to create a new project on the surface. Just what on earth were they planning this time? Kurila and Rakuli, the dynamic duo, used their ancient mental math skills to design the blueprint of a new house. Everything was joined with wooden nails hammered precisely into a square base frame. They sharpened wooden poles and drove them into the gaps of the foundation, forming a perfect balanced structure. Then came the roof beams, and a neat row of rear columns. The skeleton of the new house was complete. Now came the most crucial step. They heated long bamboo poles and used the old expand with heat principle, maxing out the bamboo's flexibility. Through bending and slotting, they formed 2 graceful arched ribs. Fixed with horizontal beams all around, the house looked like a giant wooden wheel. Then the bamboo panels took the stage. With a sturdy wooden frame beneath, laying bamboo sheets was a breeze. The brothers could probably do it blindfolded by now. Even though they were shirtless all day, wearing only their great-grandpa's tattered pants, they were perfectionists when it came to their new home.
After all, this was their life's biggest project. Every detail had to be flawless.
Look at those bamboo slats. The sunlight through them shines evenly, like wallpaper. The same principle applied outside. The whole house screamed seamless design. In no time, it was wrapped 360 degrees in bamboo. Between the inner and outer bamboo walls, they added hidden design gaps, then sealed every corner with small slats. All edges were rounded with half-pipe bamboo borders. Now the house had curves in all the right places. Indoor fixtures got the same royal treatment. Every edge locked perfectly into place. Not only did it look high-end, it made the owners look high-class too. At the center of the living room, two mighty shovels struck the ground. Extra dirt was dragged away on their makeshift tractor. As the digging went deeper, an indoor swimming pool slowly came to life. After a full year without bathing, the brothers attacked the project like wild beasts. They didn't care about logic. They polished that pool smoother than an egg. Even the pool edges got rounded protection, because a bruised butt is no joke. Hearing that the bros were moving into a new house, neighbor Old Wang offered to sponsor them with paint. Free paint? Don't mind if I do. They painted every corner inside and out. Old Wang, being a man of principle, even threw in 2 extra buckets. The brothers used their grandpa's secret dyeing trick, crushing leaves into mush, adding a splash of mystery formula water to make their favorite shade of green. They painted the pool until it glowed like jade. But these two pranksters weren't done. Sneakily eyeing a tree, they stripped its white bark clean. Instant, natural white paint. With strokes and slashes, they mimicked tiles. A luxury ceramic finish, courtesy of Mother Nature. These brothers were like dung beetles on glass, clever and slippery. Everything was ready but the water. They trekked over hills and found a waterfall. Using bamboo pipes as plumbing, they brought the spring water straight to their pool. Then they borrowed old Quihua's mother hen, hung it over a clay stove for roasting, and sealed it in mud, creating their own version of beggar's chicken. Wearing their filthy, tattered pants, they stood proudly at the doorway, posing for a new house celebration photo. Then they fell sound asleep under the blazing sun. When the chicken started dripping fat and the pool overflowed with water, the brothers woke up from their food coma. Still in their pants, they jumped in, because nothing says respect for Quihua like bathing before eating her chicken. After all, eating grilled chicken clean and fresh was their way of showing respect to Quihua. But the brothers weren't satisfied with just a villa. Using primitive tools and master-level shovel skills, they even built a super pool from scratch, living a life more carefree than immortals. Kurila and Rakuli, the famous duo, once again grabbed their ancestral shovels and dug out a series of staggered giant pits. But this time, something was different. They dug a perfect circular ring in the center zone. When lunchtime rolled around, Rakuli wandered into the wild fields. Taking advantage of the fish's nap time, he caught an entire family in one swoop. He roasted them inside coconut shells. A secret family recipe passed down 18 generations. After the feast, fully charged with energy, the brothers returned to their masterpiece. They went wild, circling around the pit, and somehow dug an infinity symbol-shaped trench. But bare dirt walls were a no-go. With their sharp, designer eyes, they carved an elegant Chinese-style backdrop. On the western high ground, they dug out a square pit just for fun. After a quick brotherly board meeting, they unanimously decided to make it a bedroom. They even connected it to the living room directly. Time for their iron heads to shine again. Of course, a bedroom couldn't just be open air. Since wood was basically free, costing half a kilo per kilo, they didn't hold back. They covered the roof with branches and soil, making it invisible even to ghosts. But the megapit project wasn't done yet. Especially the figure-8 slide section. Their engineering skills were no joke.
I'd give that design at least 92 points.
At the staircase entrance, they carved 2 symmetrical advertising pillars. And just like that, Phase 1 was complete.
After a nap in the woods, Kurila suddenly shook his brother awake.
He discovered a colossal secret. They quickly made 2 torches and found a massive honeycomb. Bravely, they used leaves as shields, smoked the bees away with fire, and claimed the hive as their own trophy. This was premium natural nutrition, the kind of treat money can't buy. They carried dozens of kilos of honeycomb like conquering heroes returning home. Rakuli couldn't resist. He sliced off a piece, sprinkled some scallions, wrapped it with wild leaves. Voila, roasted scallion honey, and don't underestimate that wild honey. After a month of hard labor, it was the perfect energy booster. The remaining 30 kilos were enough to keep them buzzing for a month. In Phase 2 of construction, the brothers added a new feature. A wall above the bedroom door, modeled after the Great Wall itself. They smeared it with mud and straw to make a rustic defense barrier. Then each carried a pair of baskets to fetch red stones from Flaming Mountain. After 10 days and half a month of express delivery, they paved the entire crater with stone bricks. Using the ancient wolf hammer technique, they smashed each rock into cornerstones. The pit was then sealed with wild cement, perfectly waterproof, totally improvised. They even cooked eco-cement, using leaves as the base ingredient. Completely international quality, ISO Jungle Edition, certified. Then they coated the pool thoroughly, flipping it upside down in spirit and shine. To install the plumbing system, they formed human ladders, fixing bamboo pipes on both east and west sides. 2 pits became twin water tanks, and bamboo pipes acted as city water lines. They led mountain spring water from the waterfall, creating free plumbing for the whole complex. For once, running water didn't mean bills. The 250 square meter private pool was big enough for both brothers to splash like madmen. Though they only owned 1 pair of shorts, the brothers were already dreaming ahead. They wanted to build a cute hobbit-style cottage for their future kids. Never mind that they weren't married yet. These visionaries were already planning a family resort. While others built the house first, then furnish it, these two did it the other way around, thanks to 40 years of mud art experience. In the blink of an eye, they molded a mud bed. 2 lumps of yellow clay in front became matching golden pillows of fortune. Then, with 1 small trowel, they sculpted elegant flowing curves. Proving simple can still look classy. Minimalism Jungle Edition. Around the pit, they built bamboo scaffolding, ready to show off their ancestral craftsmanship. Simple materials, complex execution. That was their motto. Using the center beam as a circle's core, they connected branches all around, forming twin cone-shaped domes.
Honestly, they look like mud-made UFOs.
The next part was the highlight. They layered flexible bamboo strips around the dome, creating wave-shaped supports at the bottom, laying the groundwork for a flowing roofline. For the walls, naturally, they went full 360-degree coverage, a total bamboo wraparound masterpiece. Before long, 2 little huts with hats appeared, like twin mushroom houses straight out of a fairy tale. To keep them cool in summer and warm in winter, they coated everything with grass and mud. But the windows and doors, those got special treatment. The brothers got creative and made them cartoon style, with smiling curves and cheeky shapes. Matched with a sun-cat roof, the harmony was perfect. The place looked like 2 tiny aliens waving hello. But they didn't stop there. They fetched wild grass from the park and gave their roof a green hat. It was, admittedly, their favorite color. They even lined the base of the houses with grass, making the whole look even more charming. Then came their favorite weapon, shovels. Using the family's 18th-generation shovel technique, they dug for dear life. Following the shape of the house, they created a flower-shaped pit right in front. Thinking of easy access, they used vines and bamboo to craft a tiny arch bridge. Now they wouldn't fall in every time they came home.
Efficiency and safety both handled.
Of course, waterproofing was essential. With strong, iron-like hands, they smoothed the pit till it shined like an egg. Then they laid grass around the edges, maxing out that natural aesthetic. Since this was meant for future kids' vacations, color design couldn't be sloppy. After all, color is the seasoning of life, each shade with its own magic. Everything was ready except the water. But since the source was far away, they had to carry it by night pot again. After 10 days and half a month of hauling, they also brought back a few homeless fish from the river. They released them into their brand new pool. Turns out the pool wasn't for themselves, but for the little fish to have a home too. Together with the hobbit houses, they built a fairy tale paradise where man and nature coexisted. The brothers now owned all sorts of quirky properties, but they also had separate dreams. The younger one was getting married tomorrow, while 40-year-old Kurila was still single. The more he thought about it, the sadder he felt, so he decided to dig a hole and jump in. Without looking back, he began digging. He went 10 meters deep in one go, and tunneled sideways for good measure. After 6 days and 6 nights of labor, he completed a 6.6 square meter bedroom. He planned to move in right after his brother's wedding, his own solo honeymoon suite. Of course, he wouldn't shortchange himself. He went back to the entrance, digging furiously, and carved a perfect double ring shape. Then sneaking into the woods, he stole some ant hills, legs and all. Those ant spit-enriched clays burned with wood ash became the toughest natural cement. He coated the entire ring tunnel carefully, but such a massive project left countless ants tragically homeless. To beautify his new house, he mixed yellow paste and charcoal, creating orange and grey-black paints. He painted the central hole black-grey and the outer ring bright orange, brilliantly bold. Then, hauling fresh grass from the wild park, he lined the circular ridge with turf. The whole design instantly looked high-end and majestic. To improve his athletic talent, he didn't use bamboo pipes this time. Instead, he spent 10 days and half a month fetching water by chamber pot. Thousands of pots later, he filled the whole pit, forming a perfectly standard swimming pool. To stay clear-headed, Kurila dove straight into the pool, holding his breath for a full 10 minutes,